makers don't know what to do with me. Sometimes success can be the biggest failure, in the sense that once you do so many films and people now decide what kind of films you'll do, and they won't audition you anymore. Our school of acting that we come from, our techniques are very similar. So it was one of the best experiences, just being able to, we just got each other. We just got exactly what we needed, because we disappear into our roles. We love doing that.
For all film related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
My first question is, why did it take you 5 years?
I mean, I have the same question. Can you please investigate this? Because I'm not happy with this. Frankly, no, I was very happy with how people loved Kareeb Kareeb Single, especially once it got onto a platform. And not a lot of people get that kind of a reception. But I feel like Kareeb Kareeb Single also was something very out of the box for a first Hindi film for an actor to do. And I have a feeling sometimes I feel like makers don't know what to do with me. Like, where do you fit? I mean, you're writing stories, and if they can't see me in that, then there's no way for me to get into that space, right? Into their imagination. That's one. Second thing is, there's something I believe that sometimes success can be the biggest failure, in the sense that once you do so many films and people now decide what kind of films you'll do, and they won't audition you anymore. And now this is such a shocking thing for people, right? Oh, an actor wants to audition. And I'm like, but that is the job. The job is to audition, to see for a maker, to see if this and no matter how successful and well-known you are, you must audition to prove that you can do this. Absolutely. So I sometimes feel like if people knew that I am willing to audition for them to see if I fit into their imagination of playing the character, maybe I would have gotten more roles.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, but I also feel actors like you have a very strong personality. You come across also off screen as a very strong person. Do you think that somewhere scares people away?
Yeah, but then I would say, please do work on yourselves, because when you do work with strong personalities such as myself, there is only room for growth, hopefully, not fear. If a strong personality scares someone, then they must think to themselves, why? Why is it that you look for weaker personalities to be around, so that you're not challenged, you don't want to collab? Brings about so many questions. Suddenly we are like psychology central.
No, but which is so true for many actors, and especially female actors, who just get boxed. Whether it's you, whether it's Tabu. Now she's been also trying to dismantle that cover that they have, that they put around her. Why does it have to take so long for the female actor to do it, while a male actor तो वो कुछ भी कर सकता है, वो 50 साल की उम्र में 15 साल का लड़का भी play कर सकता है.
Absolutely. Suddenly we have the budget then for like CG and everything. Otherwise we don't have the budget to pay our actors or other technicians. No, I completely am with you. See, it's something that is ongoing, something not everybody is challenging. Everybody does want to just get to work. There is such a thing where, is my job only to challenge the norms, or is it like मैं काम भी करूं थोड़ा बहुत? After a while it does exhaust you. Is that, what, I'll just make do with the best that's coming my way. But the only thing I can do is gently, politely nudge them to consider auditioning already established actors as well. And this is not to obviously take away opportunities from, but sometimes you think that when you know that this particular actor has a market, and market also plays a very big part in it, you have to then really see, oh yeah, you're bringing in the market part of things by casting certain actors, and will you bring these actors who don't seem to have any market in this industry, but you'll bring in because they're going to really like fit the character right. But is this even a conversation in production houses? I'm not sure. I'm not aware of it. But I would suggest that should be the ideal way to go about it.
Is when influencers are now conducting interviews and we're playing journalists, so well, where we are headed.
There is that. There is what do you call it? There is such blurring and dilution of these spaces, that I'm unable to grasp at what is what anymore.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Like I also said, two influencers really need to act, to their
It is
real.
that it did actually make me think, I'll be honest. As an actor, I get to say that, right? Like, I mean, you can speak for journalism here, but I can speak as an actor who's been working for 17 years, building all these years, and as to the skills of it. But I sometimes feel, even for me, I should not have any objection to anybody becoming an actor. Because at the end of the day, the playing field is everybody's. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to uh, put out quality work out there, anybody will get phased out, including myself. Like, I can't say कि हाँ मैं ना 17 साल से मैं इतना काम कर रही हूँ, तो I will now to I should be taken seriously. No, I will be taken as seriously and respected as my last work.
Absolutely.
And I must always remember that value and respect is not a given, and I'm not entitled to it unless I earn it.
No,
I mean, as a human being, yes, I am entitled to value and respect no matter what I do. But as an actor, I have to prove that I'm still on top of my game, and I will provide you a service that you are paying for, and I will give you that.
Absolutely. And in the past, like we just had dhootha out, and now we have Karak Singh. I was in Goa. I mean, the auditorium was full, so I missed out on the film. Got such rave reviews. What was it like? Two very different narratives. What was it like? Creative satisfaction, Mila?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think many manifestation ki hai iski. I think that's a term that's very well used these days. And I truly believe that maybe I have been thinking about thriller and investigative thrillers as my thoughts so much that it finally, after many, many years, came to me. But Kadak Singh especially is like such a lottery win for me. On all counts, right? You have amazing actors, including Pankaj Ji, Sanjana, Paresh, Jaya San, and then you have a brilliant production, which is Viz Films. And this is not to just say great things about my team. I genuinely felt that this was one of the best production houses for me. Viraf Sarkari and Viz Films and the team, Indrani Mukherjee, they were all so invested in keeping everyone happy, and they genuinely believed it. They genuinely believed that set mein everybody needs to be happy. Nobody should be sad or unhappy. So I felt like, okay, I mean, कहने में तो easy hai. How much can you actually provide? But they delivered. They actually were making sure everybody is taken care of. So there's that. Then you have Aniruddha Roy Chowdhury. You have Tony Da, who is he's a big heart. He as a human being is just a big heart, I feel. He has love for people, respect for people, for relationships in real life, that he sees such nuances in people. So when you have Kadak Singh, which looks like an investigative thriller, but it's infused with relationships that are so yummy, they're so delicious. So I have to say, this has been a massive win for me. Worth the wait.
Oh, awesome. And what about dhootha? What was that like? It's doing so well.
dhootha, again, see, my first Telugu project ever. So it took me 17 years to do one Telugu film. So I don't know why that was. That was also a question that I was asked when I was doing promotions for that. But I feel like Vikram Kumar, again, this actually ties well to what I said earlier, is that when directors decide to see you in a different light, that's where opportunities come, and they have to push to see me in a different light. So he could have given me a love story. He could have given me a different genre, but this was his kind of homecoming back to supernatural thrillers, which he absolutely enjoys. And I have never done supernatural thriller. I don't know how to make sense of it. I enjoy watching it, but I didn't know how will I play a character. And I thought the script read like a novel, like a supernatural thriller novel. And frankly, when I watched it, I was like, man, this is very rare. When you watch something and you're like, this is exactly how he narrated it. He literally narrated it, and that's exactly what you're seeing. So that's a leap of faith, right? A director can come and tell you a story, and it can actually go on to any side, but he delivered.
But it's very interesting. So at IFFI, I moderated a panel on, abuse and violence against women and children. And
Yeah.
it was just soon after Khadak Singh. And, there was also chat about such a wonderful film and your character. I was like, you were the first person who made the noise about this. Now this issue is being discussed. But when you say they don't want to cast me, they don't think, because they know somewhere you're also going to question, why are you depicting this? Because recently we've seen a film that's being celebrated. It's got so much of misogyny and nudity that, yes, we could have done away with. Do you think that also is the problem? Because you will question.
Of course. And I will continue to
Women
question.
asking questions.
Women asking questions, frankly, anybody asking questions is what I've learned over the last 5 years, is that anybody who is keeping quiet is obviously benefiting from it, from the silence of it. And some people are also very scared. Yeah, like they do need work to sustain their life. They have a livelihood. Some of the actors, especially that I know of, or even technicians, who don't get to ask any questions because they will not be taken into work after that, and they can't put food on the table. So there is that aspect as well. I am privileged enough to say that there is enough work for me, regardless of me asking questions or not, that I'm not suffering that way. But the one of the things that I realized is, it was not just me. There's an army of people who are continuing to ask questions, and as a result are not uh, as prolific as we would want to be in our jobs, not given the opportunity. Is that we realize we have to make our own opportunity. See, now Greta Gerwig in one of her interviews said something, and it has gotten like stitched into my brain, is that the obstacle is the path. The obstacle is not in the path, it is the path. You choose to see it as a big boulder, or you choose to make a road on top of it. You really look at it like that. And so for me, any of these discourses that are happening around projects that are being celebrated for the misogyny and all of that, if you become curious about it, and if you become more observational about it, you are empowering yourself to make what you believe should be made, to balance the narrative out. Anybody is free to make what they want, and we all are entitled to having our opinion about it. But we can't force somebody else who has such conviction in making such films to do a different job. We have to go and create that job ourselves. So, yeah.
No, I totally get that, because, there's a lot of chatter also. But then I would say women who ask questions are often called troublemakers. You yourself said, but that's a badge you can wear very
Very
proudly.
happily, very proudly, because and the end of the day, the discussion is that, have I been complicit in creating a toxic work environment? Am I just complicit in making people feel badly about themselves that can drive them to take really harsh measures in their life? I just don't want to be complicit, knowingly or unknowingly. So I do enough internal work to reflect on what my choices are. And I'll always, but frankly, women asking questions, they're doing that, but kuch badal nahi raha hai, then you have to see that we have to see all genders must. It's not just upon, if we are the ones losing at the spectrum in terms of being abused, why are the abused the ones who should be doing the work and asking questions? Why aren't the ones who are the doers of it asking enough questions amongst each other, keeping each other accountable in their own community?
Absolutely. But 17 years in the industry, सबसे बड़ा challenge कौन सा है? If you look back and now, you just think was the biggest hurdle to cross?
Biggest hurdle to overcome for me is having faith. My biggest discipline to have every single day is to wake up and restore faith in the fact that art has an impact, and that I have a role to play in it. To not be so embittered by my experiences that I give up. That's my biggest hurdle.
Absolutely. And also, has the process changed in the past 17 years in terms of the way you approach characters and your method?
Some things have not. Some things have not changed at all in terms of just the bare minimum, like the discussion on the roles, the character, why the writer chose these things. I would ask the makers mainly. The first thing I do would be asking them all kinds of questions. But I have also worked with directors who don't appreciate being asked questions, like to just derive my own conclusion from the script that has been given. So I have become, I think, a little more like confident in doing that when it comes to playing characters that way. Because initially I used to be like very clingy to need to know, oh, I need to know what your vision is. Otherwise, how will I do it? but I am less of a control central person now. I'm more okay to go with the flow of things.
And lastly, after this, you have an exciting 2024. You have a film with Vikram. Could you tell us a bit about it? Because all set for a January release.
Yes, that is such an exciting way to start a year. And in fact, I started working in that film in January 2023. So it's taken exactly 1 year for it to be released, or not exactly, just about 26 days later. But I feel like it's going to change the landscape of Tamil cinema as to what it's able to create. In the sheer expanse of that project is pretty overwhelming. And as you know, Ranjith would make films that cut across all the hypocrisy that is there in terms of not keep turning such a blind eye towards the being regarding caste, religion, oppression, and all of those things. So I'm very excited for people to watch a very powerful manifestation of those values on screen.
And I'm sure you're playing a very powerful woman as well.
I actually am. She's just come in and like really empowered me even more than I could have ever imagined. So yeah.
How was it like sharing screen space with Vikram?
Finally, like that's what I said to him the first time when I met him. I was like, finally, like after 17 years, we met each other at award functions before, and we have told each other our wish to work together, because somewhere we realize that our school of acting that we come from, our techniques are very similar. So it was one of the best experiences, just being able to, we just got each other. We just got exactly what we needed, because we disappear into our roles. We love doing that. So we disappear. And it was wonderful to see that happening right in front of my eyes.
Awesome. It's such a pleasure speaking to you, and would love to meet you in person as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.